Hi, today I'm going to share my recipe for Lebanese red lentil soup. That's what we call it. I love this recipe. It's very easy in the Instapot, but it's a huge crowd pleaser. I've served it to all sorts of non-plant-based, non-healthy eaters, and it always goes. They just love it. So I hope you find this recipe helpful. Let's get to it. So we really just need a few ingredients. We'll need red lentils. We use red lentils the most out of any of the lentils. They just tend to make things really creamy. They have a really different texture than a lot of other lentils, so we like them a lot. I use frozen onions. You can certainly use fresh for any of these things. I'm just, as you know, a simple person and I like to keep things easy. I'm also going to add even more dried onion, some dried garlic, ginger, cumin, and a pinch of cayenne. You can leave this out if you don't like spicy. I'm also going to use a teeny little bit of cilantro. Again, any of this could be fresh, and you can leave this out if you're one of those people who hate cilantro. I'm also going to use lemon juice, but I'm not going to add that until it's done cooking. And I'm going to use an immersion blender. Any kind of blender would work. You can even leave this unblended, but it's quite amazing once you blend it. I'll also need my Instapot, though you could make this on stovetop. All right, so I make a huge batch of this because we all love it and eat it up, and we really like the leftovers as well. But you could certainly, have this recipe or whatever suits you. I'm going to do 3 cups of dried red lentils. I buy these in bulk, 25-pound bags, because it's the lentil I use the most. You can get them anywhere, pretty much. 3 cups red lentils. I'm going to add just a teeny little pinch of cayenne. It does add a little tiny bite, and it actually adds quite a lot of flavor. Just a little bit of cilantro as well. I'm not even going to measure those. All right, so the big flavor, guys, now we're going to do a good amount of garlic, probably about 1/2 to 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. 1 teaspoon probably. And I always am generous with the dried onion. That it's smoking. Probably 2 tablespoons, something like that. I do a 10-ounce bag of onion. Actually, the onion is really nice. The either frozen or fresh. It does add a lot of flavor to this recipe. So if you like it, you could even go with 2 of those bags. And then I'm just going to double check that I'm measuring this correctly. Yes, I do measure this. I don't measure much, but for certain spices, I find it really affects the flavor of the recipe and the consistency of it if I'm accurate with these. So cumin, we do 1 tablespoon of cumin for this, and 1/2 tablespoon of garlic. Or not garlic, I'm sorry, 1/2 tablespoon of ginger. You could do 1/2 tablespoon of garlic too, but the ginger is really critical. And this is a really nice ginger. It's pretty strong. But it adds, as you know, if you've used ginger, just so much good flavor. So that's it. So I also just added 11 cups of warm water. That's the amount that works for us. I've experimented with a lot of different amounts. 9 is the minimum, 9 cups of water that you need to make this recipe work and fully cook it. But it really gets firm almost in the fridge, almost sliceable, which is its own thing. So you can try that if you like it. We like that even if it separates in the fridge, the water and that kind of gels up the starch of the lentils. If you've ever had lentil soup in the fridge, you'll know what I mean. It's enough water that I could just stir it, stick it in the microwave, and it pretty much is the same consistency as when it's fresh. So that's what we like. You could experiment, see what you like. If you're going to eat it all fresh, you might like a different amount of water. So what I do like to do with the red lentils in particular, they like to stick to the bottom of the Instapot. And sometimes that can cause the Instapot to put off an alarm and basically stop cooking because it'll think it's sticking to the bottom and it's burning and it'll just shut off, which is great as a safety function, but annoying when you know it's just because they're sticking to the bottom. So I give it a good stir and just kind of make sure those lentils aren't sticking to the bottom. And then, easy peasy, I just put on my lid, follow the directions, turn all the way to the right to close. I'm going to make sure this is set to sealing, which will mean it can come to pressure versus venting, letting the water out. So we're going to just turn it to sealing. It doesn't click or anything. You just turn it all the way. And then my function, the only function I use other than when I'm making yogurt for one of my sons, is to hit pressure cook. I ignore all these other functions. And I'm actually going to do this about 32 minutes. 30 is what I usually do for lentils, but I like this one to be like uber cooked so that I can easily blend it and it's already like almost blended. You'll see when it's done cooking. Leave it, forget about it, go do all the other things I need to get done today. I'm already busy prepping other things. I've made oat squares this morning and 2 batches of potatoes and a starch and veggie meal and, you know, all sorts of stuff going on. That's the beauty of the Instapot. I can just leave this and I'll be back when it's naturally pressure released. All right, so this is definitely pressure released. I got busy with other stuff as usual, and this has actually been pressure released for quite a while, but that's the beauty of the Instapot. It can just wait until I'm ready to deal with it. So the silver thing is down, and I can easily unlock the lid. So I just turn it all the way to the right, lift it off, and I just, today it got a little dirty because this is a big batch, so I'll just clean that off afterwards. It comes off really easily. All right, so let's check this out here. Okay. All right, it's quite watery, but that's how I like it when I know we're going to be eating it mostly as leftovers because it really does thicken up quite a lot in the fridge. Like I said, if you want to serve this totally fresh, it's good. It's still good like this, but if you want a little bit like denser soup, really, really thick and creamy, then I would just reduce the water to about 10 cups, 9 cups, something like that. And what I'm going to do now is lift this out and I'm just going to completely blend it with my immersion blender. You'll see like this is already really close to blended because of the red lentils. They almost disintegrate, but I'm going to blend it. And before I do that, I'm just going to add in 3/4 of a cup of lemon juice. This adds a really nice flavor to it. That and the ginger together really make the flavor of this soup. All right, so I'll show you that when I'm done blending. All right, so I've just started scooping. It's totally nice and almost milky. Again, use less water if you want it thicker, but it would definitely thicken quite a lot in the fridge. So, and again, we mostly eat as leftovers, so I'm just gonna scoop some fresh stuff. My husband loves it fresh, especially, and you'll see it's just a really nice consistency. So again, we love this. It just tastes delicious. So we always kind of laugh because this looks a little unappetizing, but it actually tastes so delicious. And even the people who are not used to eating healthy at all tend to love this soup. So I hope you find this recipe helpful.